I'm David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and silly one. Today's post, top reasons George Santos is free. It always helps to have someone who makes you look good. I know it's been a busy weekend, what with no King's marches and all, so you might have missed the news that dementia, the grifter King Trump, commuted the 87-month prison sentence of former Representative George Santos, or Sodom and Gomorrah. I would refer to him as a disgraced politician, but the thing is, he has no shame. So, in his mind, in the minds of both of them really, they've done nothing wrong. So, there's nothing to feel disgraced or shameful about for them. For good or ill, though, there is no real constituency for Santos, and there hasn't been a groundswell of support for his release. So, why did Trump do it? Well, I have some ideas, including, 1. The maid of honor effect. If you've ever been to a wedding, you know that the bride's best friend is usually the maid of honor. If that friend is more attractive than the bride, though, she, and all the bridesmaids really, must be made to look ugly in comparison through the use of taffeta pastel dresses that they'll never wear again. So not only will they look bad, they'll have to spend a lot of money doing it. So it is with Trump. He knows he's repulsive. He hopes that by having Santos free to move amongst us, he will look less ugly in comparison. Who knows? Maybe Trump can even get him to wear a taffeta dress. 2. Epstein file distraction. Lots of people were surprised and pleased when the Khans finally tried and jailed a member of their party, even if they did it because they really didn't like Santos all that much. So it wasn't that great a sacrifice. Now, though, Trump needs a big distraction from the growing fervor to release the Epstein files, and the government shutdown is working. Spoiler alert, it won't work. Did you notice how much attention the Santos release got? Yep, Epstein still wins. Number 3, to prevent him from testifying about Epstein. Here's the funny thing about liars. Nothing is out of bounds. Santos doesn't know Epstein, never met the man, and knows very little about him. But that wouldn't have kept him from lying his face off and claiming to have compromising information about Trump and Epstein. The likelihood grew even greater when he saw that Ghislaine Maxwell had been transferred to a minimum security prison after she lied about Trump's connection with her former boss. He figured he could cash in by testifying against Trump. Unfortunately, no minimum security prison wanted him, so the grifter king was left with no option but to free him. Number 4, wants him to replace Mike Johnson. Apparently, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson isn't getting the job done. He's not getting the electorate angry enough at the Democrats for shutting down the government, because, of course, the Republicans are to blame. That's because he's not a convincing enough liar, while Santos lies with a flair unseen since the likes of Dementia J. Trump. Combine that with the fact that there's no rule requiring the Speaker of the House to be an actual congressperson, and you've got the perfect storm. I'm not saying Santos is a convincing liar, mind you. In fact, Mango Mussolini believes the whoppers George will tell the media will be so distracting that they might not notice him shredding some of the Epstein files out in the open. Number 5, he needed a utility infield liar. It is World Series season after all. In baseball, utility infielders are prized because they can play whatever position a manager might need to fill a hole in the lineup. One day they might cover second base, the next they might be a shortstop or even a catcher. They aren't superstars, but they help keep the team afloat when a position player is on the disabled list. Santos can do the same thing. Now, Don Corleone can use him to fill openings wherever they arise, whenever they arise. The head of the IRS has just been fired. George is available. There's a vacancy in the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Jersey. Why not use George? He may not be an actual lawyer, but he's gotten quite familiar with the justice system, if you catch my drift, at least from the consumer side. Need to fill the Secretary of Labor slot for the 3rd time? Let George do it. And yes, that was a reference to old-time radio shows for you really, really old fans out there. Number 6, needed someone Jewish in his administration. As you may recall, Santos never said he was a member of the tribe during his political career. He just indicated that he was Jew-ish. Of course, by those standards, since Muslims don't eat pork, they too could be considered Jew-ish. And that's good enough for government work. At least in the Trump administration, anyway. I've been David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and silly one.